The Cats dominate the Vanderbilt Commodores in round two. So let's talk about it here on the Big Blue Breakdown. Welcome in, everybody, to the Big Blue Breakdown. Thank you guys so much for tuning in here to episode 23, if I'm not mistaken. I think it is 23 here on the podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in here. If you guys are listening on podcast, follow and comment there. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment here as well. The Cats dominate the Vanderbilt Commodores 82-61 last night, and I am phenomenally impressed by the defensive performance in this game. Going into this game, it was kind of nerve-wracking because you have to win this game to still be on the right track going to March, right? And there was a lot of questions about, this team is very scrappy. This Vanderbilt team took Tennessee down the wire, had a big lead on them. Now, yes, they had been a little bit inconsistent coming into this game, and the Cats just came off a tough loss to Texas, but they were able to respond in a major way with a 21-point win over the Vanderbilt Commodores. If we want to go ahead and jump right into some statistics, obviously in this episode we are going to be reviewing Kentucky's major win over the Vanderbilt Commodores and talking about what we did well in this game and kind of looking ahead. Like, the Cats obviously need to get back Jaxson and Lamont before the NCAA tournament to have a shot at making a run. But what do the Cats need to do in their next coming of games to have a 4 seed or better? But in this game, Cats were absolutely amazing, and it was a second half dominating performance from the Cats that really prevailed the Cats to a win in this one. In the first half, close game. The Cats were only up by 1 at halftime, 41-40. The Cats were leading. Domination in the second half. The biggest numbers to me are the second half stats. 41-40 going in at halftime. The second half score was 41-21. The Cats beat the Commodores by 20 in the second half. Absolutely domination from the Cats in the second half, and it all started in the paint. Because we looked at I wasn't able to preview this game, but I previewed this game against the Commodores before, and a thing that we talked about was this team lacks a lot of height. They lack a lot of height, and what the Cats may be able to do inside is going to be a key factor to a win. And it was really the same keys coming into here, even with the loss last time. I think the loss last time occurred with turning the ball over. And that was really the main thing. And we just didn't play good defense at all. Gave them efficient looks from the inside. And that's what it really looked like in the first half. We made adjustments. Shout out to Mark Pope for that. We made adjustments at halftime. Was able to come back out and have a really, really good second half. Team stats here, field goal percentage for the Cats, 58% from the field, 40% from three-point land. We did have 13 turnovers, but they didn't allow them to turn them into points. And that was really, really a big thing. It was a tied rebounding battle with 30-30. We really shot ourselves in the foot in the first half, but we were able to regroup in the second half on the boards. For Vandy, they shot 40% from the field and only 20% from three-point land, and I think that's a really big shout-out to the Cats in this one. Now, we turned them over 10 times, and they also got 30 rebounds. Looking at some full team stats here, a major statistic, I messed up my words there, statistic is the Cats went to the line one time in the first half and then went there 12 times in the second half, ended up going 13 of 13 from from the free throw line. While the Vanderbilt Commodores went 6 of 11 from the free throw line. They shot 54%. Obviously, the Cats shot 100%. The Cats only grabbed 2 offensive rebounds in this game. That means we were so effective and so efficient on the offense side of the ball, especially inside. Man, did I like what I saw from our inside presence. I'm going to get to Amari Williams here soon. I mean, obviously, he was the MVP of this one. And Andrew Carr really looking like he is coming together after that injury, kind of putting together games now. It's going to be big to have his inside presence back because what he can bring to you on the inside is major. And especially going into like an NCAA tournament game. He can carry us in an NCAA tournament game in the paint if we really need him to. Same thing with Amari Williams. So, we had 28 assists in this game. We had 6 steals. We had 7 blocks, and we were really protecting the rim well in this one. Our largest lead was 24. Their largest lead was 1. Domination from the Cats in this one. Let's go ahead and take a look at individual performances in this one. If I can go here to the box score. Okay, obviously, player of the game has to be Amari Williams. 17 points from him, 4 blocks, 1 assist, 6 rebounds. A major statistical game from him, and he shot 100% from the field. 6 of 6 while knocking down 5 of 5 free throws. Basically a perfect game from Amari Williams, and man, has he really turned it up in SEC play. He was getting a lot of hatred for lack of production and things like that, but man, has this guy turned it on for the Cats. He's been our best player. He has been our best player for a little bit now, especially with Lamont and Jax out. We rely on the inside a lot more. And man, has he shown up. Another guy, like I was just talking about, inside presence, 11 points from Andrew Carr. Good to see him coming back to fruition. 1 block from him, 1 steal, 1 assist, 2 rebounds. And he hit a big 3. He went 1 of 3 from three-point land. Big minutes from him tonight. 21 minutes, 27 minutes. He's kind of come back up in those minutes, and we're going to need him to. Mr. Consistent, Otega Owe led all scorers with 20 points, 1 block, 1 steal, 3 assists, 7 rebounds. Travis Perry ends up getting the start again, his first ever home start for the Cats, 6 points. Now he's got to cut down the turnovers here. 3 turnovers from him, but he did have 1 steal, 2 assists, and a rebound. His outside shooting is pretty good right now for the Cats. That can be a thing in the tournament, especially if we have Lamont Butler back, and he can come in and he can knock down, maybe a 3 or 2. That will be absolutely huge for the Cats to have that type of bench production if you get Lamont back. And then Kobe Brea didn't play well last game against Texas, but has stepped up in a major way in this one. 12 points from him, 3 assists, 1 rebound. He went 3 of 4 from three-point land and 1 of 1 from the free throw line. Big time minutes from him. He had, I think he had the second most minutes behind Otega Owe, 31 minutes from him. Trent Noah. Now we've seen him play very, very well. He didn't have a point in this one, but he did have 3 rebounds. He's been very good at getting loose balls. And what about Colin Chandler? Big minutes tonight from him, and it's gonna be like this. We gotta have certain guys step up on the bench, and tonight it was Colin Chandler. 7 points from him. He had two steals, 2 assists, and the biggest thing was 6 rebounds from Colin Chandler. Brandon Garrison didn't play that well in this one, but he's going to kind of be like what we just said is there's going to be a guy that really just goes off from the bench that we really need to step up. And Brandon Garrison has proved he can do that. He didn't have any points tonight. He did have one block, 2 steals, and a rebound. And Ansley Almanor staying consistent, knocking down threes. He's our consistent piece coming off of the bench. Him and Kobe when Jax and them are back. Ansley had 9 points, 2 assists, 1 rebound last night. 3 or 5 from 3-point land. I mean, that's what you love to see from him. Staying consistent, and he can have that big game if we really need him to, kind of like the Mississippi State game. Looking at kind of going forward, yes, this was a absolute dominating performance from the Cats. Their best player on Vandy, Devin McLaughlin, had a nice night, 14 points, and Jason Edwards had 10 points, but he was very inefficient in this one. 4-12 from the field, and 1 of 6 from 3-point land, and 1 of 2 from the free throw line. We were able really to tie him down. He's their leading scorer for the Vanderbilt Commodores. Nice win for the Cats. It is a quad 2 win though, so you don't have a gaping hole in your resume with a quad 2 loss here. It's a nice win. You're above 500 now in SEC play with 7-6, 18-8 overall, and you're still probably sitting at that 4-3 spot in the NCAA tournaments. Speaking on what do the Cats need to do to stay in that range? You're right now you're projected to go 2 of 3 in your last 5 games. Can the Cats do better than that though? Let's talk about that. Can the Cats do better than end up going 8th in SEC play? You can't go below 8th in SEC tournament because that's when it really starts to get dangerous. And then maybe you get upset and now you're at a bad spot in the NCAA tournament. So that means you have to win the games now to get in a good spot in the SEC tournament. And then if you're in a good spot in the SEC tournament, you're most likely going to be in a better spot in the NCAA tournament. So looking at the rest of the schedule, Kentucky goes to Alabama, goes to Oklahoma, gets number 1 Auburn at home, LSU, and then at Missouri. The Cats, to me, you have to win at Oklahoma. You have to win at Oklahoma. And you have to beat LSU at home. You go 2 of 3. It's not terrible. I think you're still in about the same spot. Those games at Alabama, you get Auburn at home, and Missouri are really, really tough games. You see what Missouri did to Alabama last night. Scored 110 points on the Crimson Tide. But again, that game against Alabama Saturday is going to be so tough. You're probably going to lose that game. But maybe you can pull that one off. If the Cats, let's say here, I would like to see the Cats. To me, the Oklahoma LSU are must win. So let's say you win those games. And you're very capable of winning those games right there. There's 2 wins right there. Let's say you still won at Missouri. You go 3-2 with losses to Alabama and Auburn. You're in a really good spot. The Cats cannot drop to a 5 seed or less in the NCAA tournament. I think the 6 seed is probably the lowest that we can go at this point. With how good our resume is in quad 1 wins, and we can still do more damage in the SEC tournament. So the best chance I think we can get to if we go 5-1, I think we can get to a 7 seed, but that would be very, very tough. But I think if you can stay in that 8 to 7 range in the SEC tournament, you're going to be in a good spot. I would like to see the Cats go 3-2, maybe knock off one team that we shouldn't. I think that would set us up in a really good spot. But the Cats cannot drop to a 5 or 6 seed. But that's for a different time. I just wanted to recap here and have a quick little talk about a rest of our schedule. But not I lost my train of thought here. We can't want to restate, we cannot lose to teams that we shouldn't at Oklahoma, LSU, the games that we have to win. Those other 3 games we're playing with house money. If you win, you're putting yourself in a better position. If you lose, you're probably staying in the same position. So to me, that is a big thing. And I wanted to mention one last thing before we hop off here on the Big Blue Breakdown. Kentucky jumps up to 17th in KenPom and has jumped all the way up to 68th in KenPom defensive efficiency, which is very, very good for the Cats that were at 112 after the loss to Ole Miss. We've turned things around, the defensive end intensity, just wanting it, and just having that production on the defensive end. Man, had the Cats really stepped up there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in here to the Big Blue Breakdown episode number 23. At some point, I think our next episode is going to be a preview of the Alabama game, what that means. Maybe in that game I will talk about it, but we are going to do let's come together and talk about NCAA tournaments, SEC tournaments, and really where we stand now, and some possible solutions and where we want to be and what's the best possible place that we can be. Want to get everybody caught up on a tournament and bracketology and everything like that. And that will be coming soon, maybe an all-together episode on that. Be a longer one, but that'll be like bracketology 2.0. But thank you guys so much for tuning in here. And as always, go Cats.